you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here and I'm back with another video, and don't mind my hands, we've got Edward scissor hands going on today. I've been spring cleaning, spring is here, you know, new month and all. The sun has been shining, Manchester's been so beautiful, like probably like the last 2 weeks in March, and obviously now we're in April. So yeah, in today's topic, what going for Birmingham, you know, our neighbour. Their bin men have been on strike, their council is going through it, and the residents are now complaining, it's trending, and like I said, the weather's been really good in the UK, so it's quite warm in Manchester. Manchester's more up north, so it's even hotter in Birmingham, and obviously further down as you go south. So yeah, the Birmingham residents are going through it, as you can imagine, with the heat. Birmingham stinks right now, like it's rank. Smells like a sewer. They've got rats running wild, living their best life. They're saying that they've got rats as big as cats. And listen, zoom in, I believe them. My street, it's very similar to what they're going on. On my street, people literally just throw their rubbish on the corner side. So basically, I live in like a house terrace where all the houses are like, you know, those proper Victorian houses where they're all just going lane to lane. We don't have our own bins. We have our own black bins, but we have to share, you know, recycling bins. So the blue one, the brown one, and the green one. But yeah, again, like I said, people will just dump a lot of rubbish at the alley gate, or the entry, if you want to call it. People will dump chairs, mattresses, old mirrors, just any like stuff. So, and you know what the worst thing is, around where I live, there's a dump not too far, so the council keep writing, just go to the dump, or if you ring Manchester Council, they'll pick up like a chair and, I don't know, a chair and a mirror. They will only pick up 2 things, and then you have to pay for the remainder items. But people don't do that, people just dump it. So again, I'm going to show you this clip. Trigger warning, because it is, like, I don't know how people are coping, but yeah, let's get into it.
Birmingham is being overwhelmed with rubbish, with rats the size of cats now roaming the streets. Residents are now living with a constant stench in the air. A week of bin strikes has turned the city streets into a dumping ground. Footage shows people sprinting with bags of rubbish to rare working bin lorries and being turned away by the police. 2 people have been arrested, and fears grow for public health. Locals say children could be bitten by rats in playgrounds. Talks between the council and the Unite Union have so far failed to resolve the crisis.
Whew, guys, did you see that? The way it's been so hot, I've got like all the windows open. This is why my mum's always told me, never get the end house and never live on a main road. And obviously, if you live in like a terrace, therefore get the end house, because the bins are going to be next to your house. Like, guys, did you see all that rubbish? Like, this is crazy. This is insane. Like, and I feel sorry for whoever's house is on the end or near all that rubbish. But yeah, so the reason why Birmingham's looking the way it is because basically the council ain't shit. They had to claim bankruptcy because they've been lending out a lot of funds. You know, when they invested in stuff and then the investment didn't come back, so they had to file for bankruptcy. Obviously, council tax, road tax, all that stuff's gone up, but a lot of residents are refusing to pay it because, like, look at the state of the city, you know what I mean? All that rubbish. The bin men are on strike because they ain't getting paid enough, and a lot of them have lost their jobs. So yeah, this is crazy. So let's get into people's reactions.
Look at me right now. I'm looking clean and fresh. If you look at the streets, it's a mess.
Bins have been piling up on the streets of Birmingham for 3 weeks now, and it stinks. This is some of the 17,000 tonnes that has been piling up on the street and led to rats as big as cats roaming around. Bin workers have been on strike since the 11th of March over a row with the council about pay. They've refused to collect any rubbish.
I've never seen Ladyport look this dirty in my life. You see those bins over there? That's been there for 2 weeks.
Now the council's declared a major incident, and there are worries about the health of people living there.
Guys, he was feeling himself. He looked cute with them cane rolls, ain't gonna lie, but like he said, look at me, I'm looking good. Look behind me, look at the state of that. Like, he told no lies. Like, It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing from the council, and it's embarrassing on the residents, because it's just like if they were more tidying up and keeping it more neat and pristine, it wouldn't look the way it is. But I know it gets to that point where it's like it just takes that one person. It's like that rotten fruit to spoil the whole bunch. Someone will just throw it, and then that's what I mean. People will just start dumping. But yeah, the council's obviously to blame as a whole, but still the people that live in that community, that area, you have to look after it. Like with my street, so there's 4 like lanes of houses or terrace houses, and my alleyway's the only one that's clean. All the rest are dirty. So that says a lot about my neighbours compared to the other streets.
I see Sheikh yesterday make a video. Sheikh, salam. I seen your video yesterday and I just drove past. I thought I'd give you salam and just ask. Obviously, I can see you doing the work yourself. You want to give us any words? The least of Iman is removing harm from the street. So prior to the strikes, and by the way, I support the strikes, I support the rubbish men, but cleaning our areas is a priority before the strikes and after the strikes. Birmingham as a whole, we Muslims are responsible to keep this city clean. Unfortunately, we are one of the main reasons why this city has become unclean. We do not care. We become negligent. We let the rubbish just lie on the roads and we litter. Just look at Stratford Road. I was cleaning up some of Stratford Road today. People think I've gone mad because I'm picking up litter, but they don't know that the minimum of Iman is removal of harm from the streets. So there's much more to be said. We found gas canisters here on the road as well while we've been and iftari food, and yeah, so you get a van like this or a car. Every Pakistani household has 3 cars nowadays for some reason. Yeah, blocking up the roads. So go on Tisley Tip or book your slot, take all the rubbish and make the effort of taking the rubbish yourselves. Do not leave it to the next person. You know, this sloppy behavior of leave it to the next person, leave it to the next man. This all needs to stop.
Oh, big up that man. I love people that keep it 100 with their people. You know, you need that leadership. He's good. You know, he said that people be driving past looking at him like he's crazy. Fam, I've got to live here. He's like, I've got to live here, so I'm going to clean up. I love how he touched on, like, in a lot of Pakistan or Muslim household, people have like 3 to 4 vehicles. You better clock that. I'm gonna show you a picture of my street. So in my community, it's a lot of black and Asian and a few whites here and there. Literally, I'll put the picture here. We're literally fighting for parking because a lot of my neighbours have 3 to 4 cars, and then sometimes in the houses, mine's a 2-bed, but it has has like a dining room and living room. But some of them are 3 beds, so some people rent it out to students. So imagine each individual has their own car. So can you imagine? So we fight for parking a lot. But everything he said was so on point. Like, it's your community, it's your street. You just need to keep it tidy. So I love it, what he was saying. And like he said, most Muslims are clean. Like, all the Muslims I know are very clean. So for the street and the neighborhood to look the way it is, like, something ain't clean in the buttermilk, like, it's not making sense. But I love that he's obviously Muslim. I'm sure he's probably Pakistan, and he's saying, yo, my people, get up, do better, I'm here for it. And I loved everything he said in his clip. Like he said, a lot of them do have vans as well, so it's just like, fam, or even hire one for the day, get a van, take it to the dump. Usually in most like urban areas, there's a dump that's not too far. So like I said, from my street in Manchester, there's like a lot in Manchester, so I don't know why Manchester be looking dirty and mattress and sofa here and there, but people are just lazy. People like to dump in the night, so, because people be snitching. Me too. Like, if I see you dump, trust me, I'm ringing the council like, yo. I remember, so like I said, how these houses are set up. It's back garden to back garden. I remember one time I looked outside my back garden and it was bare rubbish. You know, your girl rang up the council like, yo, and it was the house opposite at the back of mine. They were doing work, extending, like doing an extension on the back, but they were putting all their, like, tipping all their rubbish at the back of mine like it was me. You get fined. I remember when I first moved in here, I didn't know anything about, you know, living by myself. I got a letter because obviously I was stripping the wallpaper from the last tenant, I got a letter because there was a letter with my name on it of rubbish that just been dumped, and they fined me. So When I ever see people fly tipping, dumping, I'm ringing up the council because, yo, they need to be fined just like I got fined, and I didn't even do the dumping with that. It was a misunderstanding. I rang them up and we sorted it out. But yeah, like I said, everything he said in that clip was on point.
One thing that we also need to let the public know is, as much as they're frustrated, like I was saying earlier, we're also residents of Birmingham. I live in Smallheath. Smallheath's not the cleanest of areas, but again, we'll try and make do with the cards that we've been given. But like, yeah, my bin hasn't been collected for the past 3 weeks now. So again, it's affecting you as much as it's affecting me. It's affecting all of us. But I feel like together, the public and us as bin men, we just need to band together and then make society a better place for all of us to live and work in.
Yo, shout out to the bin men, because yo, that job, I look at them when they come on the street, it's not easy, especially on a street like this or on a dirty street where the people are just dirty. Like, sometimes they've even got to get out a shovel and a broom and just do a little bit of sweeping or a bit of you know, when you pick it. But big up them, and like he said, we're going through it, even though it looks like he's a bin man because he's in like the uniform. He's like, my rubbish has not been picked up in 5 weeks. Like, you know what I mean? Even though they're on strike, it's like they're affected as well, you know what I mean? But yeah, everything he said in his clip was on point. Let's come together, you know what I mean, make this work. But yeah, everything he said in his clip I agree with.
I went back to Birmingham yesterday for a football game, and I remembered why I left 5 years ago to move to the countryside. Birmingham is such a shithole now. Once you get out of the actual city centre, which is not too bad, some of the areas are just diabolical. I mean, I swear there's probably better war zones. They are so run down. They are so rough. There is crime everywhere you turn. There is rubbish everywhere you turn. There are the most appalling people, balaclavas on, just messing around. And it really made me realise why I left Birmingham. I was literally there for probably a few hours, and I saw cars racing down a very busy street where there were children walking at probably about 80 miles an hour. It's a 40-mile-an-hour zone. I saw youths in the city centre. They were speaking God knows what language. They were trying to intimidate old people. At one point, I was literally the only English person walking down the street, and this shows the demographics and how they've changed, and for the worse as well, because these areas in England's second city have now become dominated by people born abroad, and unfortunately the English culture in those areas have been lost. Which, Smallheath for example, it's probably 95% foreign born, and English culture has disappeared there. There was Palestine flags fucking everywhere, not one England flag in sight. People walking around with balaclavas on. What's that about? There was barber shop after barber shop after barber shop, vape shop after vape shop after vape shop. There's nobody in them. How do they make their money? I wonder how. It's quite clear what those shops are used for, and it's not for vaping, and it is certainly not to get your hair cut. This is all down to unlimited immigration, and people coming from abroad in their probably millions, let's be honest, over the last decade or so, have been allowed to segregate themselves in clusters, mostly in our cities. And this is why now you have areas like Smallheath in Birmingham, which are completely dominated by people born abroad. And a lot of these areas now are no-go areas for certain people like me, like gay people, white people, women. At night time especially. Now, if you're in a group, it's not too bad, and thankfully I was. But they are not nice areas, and that's really, really sad that the police know this, but there was no police in sight. They don't give a shit. They're more worried about arresting people for putting something on Facebook, it seems, than actually dealing with crime that was very, very evident in front of our very own eyes. But this will just get worse, and I think this is happening in all our cities now. It will gradually spread to the countryside, which it is, believe me, and that's not good. I've seen Birmingham's dramatic fall over the last 20 years or so. I lived there for 21 years. I grew up in a wonderful, wonderful road. There was a lot of people from abroad there as well, but they worked, and they integrated, and they were part of a beautiful community. That's all gone now. These people who've moved in, they wouldn't know community if it hit them in the face. now there is absolutely no community spirit. I think when I last went to the road that I grew up in, which was probably about 6 months ago or so, I didn't see one English person, not one. There was cars everywhere. Where I used to play football, been completely demolished. Cars everywhere, rubbish everywhere, carpets rolled up, bin bags everywhere, ripped open, bloody mattresses all over the grass. What's that about? Do these people not have standards? What's going on? But this is the trouble. When you allow people who generally have no standards, coming from countries that have absolutely limited standards, gradually the whole standards of the whole city are reduced. And this is what's happened in London, in Birmingham, Manchester, and other major cities. And it's really, really sad. And this is why so many English, born and bred, Brummies, for example, are moving out of Birmingham, like myself, because it is not a nice place to be anymore for English people. And it's not a nice place to be for anyone who's hardworking and decent, whether you're black, white, Christian, Muslim, whatever. Because the amount of crime that goes on there, the amount of awful, awful things that go on there and are allowed to happen because the police don't do anything about it, it's no wonder. And gradually Birmingham is becoming, and some parts already is, a ghetto. And that is not a nice place to be for anybody.
Yeah, guys, I know that one was a bit lengthy, but listen, man won't telling no lies. Like, where do I start? So obviously he used to live in Birmingham, and he moved out. And I hate that as well, when you move out your city and you come back and it's just gone like 10 times worse than when you left it. But yeah, he told no lies. I had to peep him when he talked about the vaping shops, the phone shops. Those shops be empty all day, every day. And the internet cafes, and I know there's not much internet cafes now because you can do everything on your phone. But where I live, there's loads of those shops also. And like you said, they're empty. But they're still open all day, every day, Monday to Friday. No, some are even on the weekend, but no one be in there. So if you know, you know. I'm not trying to say anything, but allegedly people be going there to and other things. But yeah, I peeped that when he said that, when he was talking about the old like white couple being intimidated. You know what? So let me do a quick story time. I went to Birmingham. I've been like when I was younger, but recently I went like 2 years ago. So there's basically, I was shopping in Selfridges and they didn't have it in Manchester, but they rang around and they said the closest was in Brum. My man loves to drive, so he drove down because it was for his uncle. We went to their Selfridges, guys. When I tell you, when we touched that, you could just tell like the city's just different compared to Manchester. So it's predominantly Asian and black, and then you have a couple of whites here and there. When I say people were just like staring at us, you could just tell we wasn't from there, like from the way we were dressing, People were just mean mugging. It's very intimidating, just giving us dirties for nothing. It's like, fam, we've only come to pick up a gift and we're bouncing. But yeah, even though he said the city centre is okay, that's where we went to, and even that's like, nah. Inside is nice, but the outside, the bus stops and people are just mean mugging and for me, when I go there, I don't like it. It's just bad vibes. You know what I mean? A lot of like London content creators talk about, oh, London's depressing, it's bad vibes. I like London, it is a bit as well, but when I went to Brum, I didn't get like a friendly, you know, they say us northerners are like, we're too friendly compared to like the southerners. But yeah, like, I agree with pretty much everything he said in his clip. You know what I mean? You try and go there, there's a lot of foreigners there, like it's their place now, you know what I mean? There's loads of like meat shops, like halal and stuff, and yeah, like they said, the languages, even that alone, like even the Brum accent is changed so much. But yeah, I'm trying to think of all the stuff. Like he said, it could be quite dangerous to be gay. You know, he said he's gay, he's a white man, they don't like women, you know what I mean? Like you have to be careful what you wear, how you look, what you say. So yeah, he touched on a lot of stuff. I was waiting for him to touch on the rubbish, but I guess he just wanted to rant about something else in it. So yeah, but yeah, a lot of stuff he touched on, no lies. I've experienced it. Just passing through there, I experienced it. And I like what he touched on when he talks about the feds. Like the feds know what's going on, but they don't do anything. Facts. You know, when you just can't be bothered, the feds can't be bothered. Imagine the same thing day in, day out. Same thing, different day. The feds are like, as long as it's not like a proper like homicide or nothing too serious, Feds are not bothered. Again, they don't get paid enough, so yeah, everything he said was on point. You know, if you're from America or from Canada, everything that man just said is pretty much on point. So yeah, don't go to Brum.
And sisters, we're in the United Kingdom. This doesn't even happen in brother, does this happen in third world countries?
No,
Look, this is England.
Gift from government.
This is the gift. See, this is the gift from the government. That's what he's saying. But what I'm saying is, this is the lack of adab. All these business owners, every single one has got an authority, a job, a responsibility to clean this.
Brother, what do you think of this rubbish
Brother,
here
what do you think about this?
in our society and
What
the road?
is good, bad? Whose fault? Whose fault is this? Sister, whose fault is this? What do you think? On a level, be real. Whose fault do you think this is? Government or the people? The people's fault.
Good
Look what
kid.
this kid said.
Good kid.
This little kid said it's the people's fault.
Why they throwing here?
Why are they throwing here? That's number one. Why are they throwing there? Why is the shopkeepers allowing this to happen, fam? The rats. You know the rat is this big in England. Wallahi, I don't even know sometimes if it's a cat or a rat. My brothers and sisters, you got nothing to do with this. This is the brothers, the shop owners. This has got to stop because our kids are getting infected, our families are getting infected, the rats are coming into our homes because of you. Fix up your shops, fix up outside your doors, and that's it. Salam alaikum.
Big up my man. Keeping it real. And why did it have to be the child to be like, yeah, it's horrible, you know what I mean? Like, and he's like, thank you. He's asking the two men are like, the woman's just like, I ain't talking to you. And the kid's like, yeah, it's bad. It's true. Again, I live near all these shops. If you go to the back of the shops or even at the side, there's just dumps of rubbish from meat shops, takeaway shops. And it's just like you said, these are your shops. Why would you not look after the outside? Like, do you want customers to come in or not? Because for me, when I see a big rat outside a takeaway shop, I'm not going in. Like, are you stupid? Like, because there's probably rats up and in and out of there, so I'm not going to buy food from there. Like, hello. But yeah, I loved his clip. Everything he said was on point. Like, we as a community, we gotta do better. And he made me laugh at the end when he was like, yeah, salam alaikum. Like, don't bust me up. But you know what I love with this? Like, a lot of Asians, Pakistans are holding their people like, yo, come on, as a community, as people, as a collective, we need to do better. I'm here for it. I love it.
This is probably going to sound like a reform talking point, but it has to be said that in many of our communities, South Asian communities, whether it be Rochdale, Bradford, Birmingham, areas in Manchester, Oldham, etc., the areas are not taken care of and are often disrespected by our community. If you come into a country that welcomes you and provides you with such opportunity, and yes, we have contributed immensely, you've got to respect the land, not fly tipping, not throwing rubbish. How could you not want to live in a beautifully clean area? In my own lived experience, we moved 13 years ago from a predominantly South Asian area to a predominantly white area, and the differences were stark. Like, in our area, I see cute little old people, they will be lifting rubbish, and then when I go back to my old area, I see people just throwing rubbish. I get it, issues are nuanced, and I'm only saying this with my own lived experience. I do strongly believe that immigration positively contributes to our society. I do think we have to respect the land that we are coming to, and it does a disservice to our communities when we don't treat them with respect, irregardless of ethnicity or whatever.
I loved his response. He made me laugh. Like, not me trying to sound like I'm from reform, but sometimes, even though it's your own people, the truth has to be said. It's just like with the black community. We've got a lot of fuckery that happens in the black community, you know what I mean? If you let it slide, then when, let's say, a white cop kills a black person, we can't always be marching, but then when a black person kills a black person, we're not really that bothered, you know what I mean? So I like that he was holding his people like, yo, all this mess, all these bin bags that are in predominantly South Asian communities, you know what I mean? He's holding his people like, yo, we've got to do better. As you can see, he's Asian himself, so you know what I mean? There's nothing racist. He's calling a spade, you know what I mean? If it walks like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. You know what I mean? Keeping it, and that's what I love. There's been a lot of Asians holding their own to this fuckery, you know what I mean? As much as it's the council and it's this person, the bin men, it's the people as a community. Like, come on, let's do better. You know what? Obviously, Eid's just gone. Eid Mubarak to, you know, my fellow Muslims. But yeah, you know, the celebration and the food's flowing. Yo, the UK is hot right now, so I can only imagine how it stinks in Brum right now. Like, yo, but yeah, again, everything he said in this clip, I agree with.
Has everyone got a fucking area in their city that you just wouldn't live even if it was rent-free? Like, they could literally ring you tomorrow and say, we've got a 5-bedroom house with a swimming pool, all utilities paid for life, and you'd be just like, nah, keep it, right? Because I was driving up Lazar's Road today, right? Drop me down home. There's a bird come out of her house. The fucking window's all boarded up, right? She come out of her house, pouring curry down in the fucking drains, right? Sploshing all up the curb. There's a fucking bin strike going on. The rats galore. And you're thinking, fucking hell, no wonder the size of fucking cats. You're feeding them meals like that every fucking day. Oh, don't you realise you got to live there? Like, don't you actually realise this is your house? Like, this is your fucking footpath. Like, what are you doing? Like, nah, man. My nan always says, oh, I like it up by your mum's, but, oh, it's too much upheaval, fucking moving. Too much upheaval? She means fucking phoning the gas and electric and switching everything over. It's one fucking day of phone calls. Get out of there, man. Oh, I couldn't live there if it was rent-free, never.
Oh my gosh, listen. Everything she said was on point. First of all, she's giving me Stewie from Family Guy. Like, her face, like, what's crazy? So I agree pretty much everything she said. Like, even with Manchester, there's certain areas you just wouldn't live, even if they were offering me like a 5-bed or 6-bed. Let me give you my top 5. So no particular order, but Clayton, I wouldn't live there. I wouldn't live in Harper Hay. I wouldn't live in Cheetham Mill. I wouldn't live in Longside, and I wouldn't live in Moss Side. Like, them areas are like, no. But yeah, like she said, even where I live now, I see people just doing the maddest thing, just throwing it out the window, like she said. You know when you see those boarded up houses or the doors off its hinges and it's, you know, just all boarded up and it's just looking babuki. And as she said, with the little crack, the woman's throwing stuff out, and it's, you wonder why these rats are the size of a cat. Like, people are literally feeding them and they don't even know they're feeding them, you know what I mean? But yeah, again, she told no lies, not just for Birmingham, but for anywhere in the UK. There's just certain areas you wouldn't want to live.
So everyone's talking about these other cities. London in the summer when the sun's out is really nice. Manchester's really nice. And I'm a big advocate for Birmingham. Birmingham is my city, born and bred. But it's very hard to enjoy Birmingham when you have stuff like this going on in and around the city, and everywhere you go you're just seeing piles and piles and piles and piles and piles of rubbish. This is outside near my house. I said to myself, I'm going to enjoy the sun today. I'm going to enjoy the sun. I'm going to go to Canhill Park. I'm going to get a run in. But no. So everyone else is enjoying the heat. Everyone else is enjoying a bit of sun. And here's us in Birmingham, just... Birmingham City Council, do the right thing. To pay them. I don't know what these bin men need, but just do the right thing and just give them whatever they want, because I want to have a lit summer. I want to have a good summer.
Listen, I always say this about Manchester. Manchester is a beautiful city, especially when the sun comes out. Everyone's just on good vibes. Everyone's happy in that. But like he said, he wants to enjoy his summer. Like, he wants to come out his yard. Imagine you're trying to film, take a picture, and there's just a bunch of rubbish in the background, and then the smell alone, because then you'll have cats ripping into it, and obviously you got the rats. Like, it's too much, you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to enjoy his summer, you know what I mean? Even like putting the windows down in your car, you can't, because the smell in the air. Like, Birmingham just stinks right now. But yeah, man, everything he said in this clip was on point.
So I just come home from a 12-hour shift, yeah, and because of how the bins have been, the state of the bins, look at my house, look at the entrance to the place. I don't know what going for the council. They need to come sort all of this out, fam. This is the entrance, bro. Look at all of this junk here. All of this, yeah. Soon from now, people are going to have to hop and skip and jump over rubbish to get into their houses. I ain't saw a rat yet, but I'm sure there's going to be rats soon. And it's not just this block. It's that block over there. It's that block over there. It's the whole area, man. I don't know what the council are doing or what's going on, but they need to sort it because it's getting excessive. It's all over the place, just garbage. It's embarrassing. Every month, renting's getting paid, bills is getting paid, but yet this is what man have to come home to after 12 hours. It's long.
Guys, did you hear him? He just come off a 12-hour shift. I couldn't imagine coming from work. You know, you just want to come home, put your feet up, have nice food. Can you imagine all that being outside your gaff? I know he was going into a block of flats, but still. And then there's one there, there's one over there. There's like everywhere you turn, there's just bare rubbish. Like, what? It's giving dump site, even though it's not people actually live in this. Like, it's crazy. And like you said, we're paying our council tax. Like, at this point, what are we actually paying for? But like I said at the beginning, Birmingham Council have been bankrupt, they're in bankruptcy, and they're trying to, you know, get themselves together. So, you know what I mean? They're using people's tax money, obviously not where it should be going to, which is sad. But yeah, again, I agree with everything that he said. Like, fam, community needs to do better and the council needs to fix up. But I hope they get this sorted soon, because I feel like in the UK this year we'll have a good summer, because it can only get better, you know what I mean? As the months go more into summer, it's just going to get hotter. Like the other day, we was as warm as Ibiza. I was just like, hey, like, it does get quite windy still. The sun's just shining in it, and it's a bit hot around like 12 till 3 o'clock. But yeah, it's gonna get better, so hopefully the bin strike will end very soon. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, especially if you're from Birmingham or even from like any city in the UK. If you're from Manchester, let me know the boroughs you would never live. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Please like, comment, subscribe and share. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.